Hey guys, and welcome to this brand new segment that I like to call Right Off the Bat. Now, in Right Off the Bat, I am going to be going over 5 things that I truly love about a vehicle, and then 5 things that I'm not entirely fond about a vehicle. So right now, I am sitting inside of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra SE, and I am going to do a right off the bat for this vehicle because I do have 5 things that I actually really like about this vehicle, and then 5 things that could definitely be better and will really elevate this vehicle to another level. So, let's get started. Alright, now the number 5 thing that I'm not entirely fond of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra are the seat color options. So right here I do have the light gray seat color options here. And one thing that you are going to notice with the Hyundai Elantra is that you can only get 2 color options for the seats in the lower end trims. That's either a beige cloth or a gray cloth that I have right here. There's no black cloth option available, so if you do want a darker interior that is probably going to hold up a lot better due to stains and things like that, Hyundai does not offer that. But if you do option up to higher trims of the Hyundai Elantra, you can get black leather seats, and those black leather seats obviously will be black as opposed to the gray here, and you can also get other color options of those leather in the higher end trims. But I would have definitely liked for Hyundai maybe in the future years to add black cloth seats in the lower end trims, because a lot of people don't necessarily want gray seats in their car. Now I do have to give Hyundai props for giving us these gray seats because it does brighten up the cabin a little bit. But what I would have liked for if this was black and all the inserts inside of the car still remain this gray, because I really like how this gray sort of brings color to the interior as opposed to some of its other competitors, which can be extremely gloomy inside. Alright, so in the number 4 spot is going to have to be the number of ways to open up the trunk here. So you actually only have 2 total ways to open up the trunk. You either hold down the button right here on the key fob right there, or you have to go to the driver's side and pull the lever on the ground. Unfortunately, Hyundai does not give you any way to open up the trunk with a pad under here. They do reserve that for higher end trims. Also, higher end trims will also come with a smart trunk access system. So if you are standing behind the car and you do have the key fob on your person, the trunk will actually open up for you. But unfortunately here in the SE trim you only get 2 total ways, and I would have definitely liked to see that pad under here as standard equipment. Now in the number 3 spot for things that I'm not entirely fond of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra is going to be just how rapid this front hood does slope down. And as a result, if you are sitting in the front seats, it is going to be a little bit difficult to see exactly where this front end does end. And that can be a little bit of a problem at times. Now, from a style standpoint, this looks amazing, but from a functionality standpoint, it can definitely be better. Now, that's sort of a slight design downfall for this, because by having this type of hood design, it is going to be a lot more aerodynamic, but like I said, it is going to be a little difficult to see exactly where this front end does end. Alright, so in the number 2 spot for my top 5 things that I'm not entirely fond of the Hyundai Elantra is going to have to be the way that Hyundai did choose to design this vehicle. So the exterior styling of the vehicle is very sporty and angular and aggressive looking, but then once you get inside of the Elantra, it has a lot more of a mellow and just plain Jane like interior. I'm not a huge fan of the interior. It doesn't look bad. It looks very upscale in certain ways, but Overall, from consistency standpoint, from if you're looking at the exterior and then going into the interior, if I had two pictures and you had to match them up, you probably would not match this exterior to the interior that the 2017 Hyundai Elantra does have. And my number one thing that I'm not entirely fond of for the 2017 Hyundai Elantra is going to have to go to the amount of storage in the rear seats. Especially compared to some of its competitors, it is just lacking a little bit. Alright, so let me hop on inside and just show you exactly what I am talking about. So, I'm in the back seat of the Elantra, and sitting back here, you are going to see that you do not have any mat pockets in the back of the seats here. Also, you are going to notice that on the side you do have a bottle holder and a little storage cubby right here, and you also get a little compartment right there. But what is really not that good for this vehicle and why it's really lacking in space, if you ask me, is because it does not have the center armrest, and as a result you aren't going to have that little center thing there to put things inside of, as well as you are not going to have your two cup holders here. Now, Hyundai did not go that crazy and not give you cup holders. They do give you cup holders right here, and you can just pull that right on out and you have your two cup holders right there. But overall, the back seat storage is definitely lacking. I would have definitely liked to see some sort of mat pockets on the back of these seats, as well as a center armrest with a little storage compartment as well. Alright, so now let's talk about the top 5 things that I actually really like about the 2017 Hyundai Elantra, and 5 things that you actually should know about this Elantra if you are considering buying it. So, one thing that is actually really good about the Elantra is how large the trunk actually is. So, all I'm going to do is hold down this button right here and open up the trunk. And what you're looking at right here is 14.4 cubic feet of space, which is actually pretty large for its class. Most of its other competitors are going to be ranging from 12 to 13 if you are looking at things such as the Mazda 3 or, for example, the Toyota Corolla. But if you are looking at other competitors such as the Honda Civic or the Nissan Sentra, it is going to be slightly smaller. Those entries are going to be closer to the 15 cubic foot rating, but overall, the trunk of the Elantra is very large, and the way that they packaged it is also very efficient. You are going to have a pretty large opening right here, so you will be able to put pretty large things in there. Also, Hyundai does give you your 60-40 split rear seats back there, so you can fold down those rear seats to make the vehicle even more practical. And another thing that I really like about the trunk is just how they configured the trunk to be. It's very boxed. So as opposed to it having some weird sloping or anything, you are going to be able to fit things inside of this trunk fairly easily, especially considering some of its other competitors, which could have some sloped back ends, which could obviously decrease the trunk, or some other competitors which do have very short rear overhangs that can also decrease the amount of space in the trunk. But overall, the trunk of the Elantra is pretty spacious for the class. Now, in the number 4 spot for my top likes for the Hyundai Elantra is going to have to go to the interior space, especially in the back seat. According to the internet, the Hyundai Elantra does have class-leading interior volume, which is pretty unique for the Hyundai Elantra. So if you are looking for a very spacious compact sedan, the Hyundai Elantra should definitely be on your list. But sitting inside the Hyundai Elantra, you are going to see that you are going to have tons of legroom back here, as well as a decent amount of headroom if you do put your head all the way back. I do have just about 2 to 3 inches of headroom back there. Now, if you do move on to the center here, you are also going to see that the floor down here is also pretty flat. So that is also going to aid in overall interior volume. Also, width-wise, you can possibly fit 3 adults all the way across with no problem. Now, if I do come all the way over here, like I said, you do have tons of room, and you are going to see that this roofline does slope down quite a bit, but the way that they did slope this down is that the indentation of the ceiling, you still have tons of room to sit back and still have lots of space. So coming out as well, you are also going to see that this roofline does not slope down in any awkward ways that you are going to hit your head. So overall, I really like how Hyundai packaged the interior volume of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Now in the number 3 spot for things that I really like about the Hyundai Elantra is going to have to go to the overall safety of the Hyundai Elantra. According to IIHS, the Hyundai Elantra does receive an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus award, which is the highest rating that the IIHS does give out. Now, according to NHTSA, the Hyundai Elantra also gets a 5-star rating from them as well. So the Hyundai Elantra overall is a very safe vehicle. Also, it does come with a standard reverse camera. If you do get this SE popular package, you will get that reverse camera with your trajectory lines, which is a pretty neat feature. And if you do go for higher end trims, you can get some more crash avoidance things such as lane departure warning, lane keep assist, cross traffic alert, and different things like that will all be available on the 2017 Hyundai Elantra if you do go up for those higher trims. But right here for the SE trim, the Hyundai Elantra does fairly good for itself. Also, you do get your projector beam halogen low beams up front and your halogen high beams up front as well. So the Hyundai Elantra could, I guess you can say, can have LED lights in higher end trims. Higher end trims, I believe, don't come with LED headlights, so that would probably be one of my dislikes for the higher end trims. But for this lower end trim, halogen lights are just about right. And the reason I'm talking about headlights is because headlights play a huge role in safety, especially at nighttime. Actually, the IIHS is starting to test headlights because they are starting to see how headlights don't really perform that well in vehicles, and the Hyundai Elantra, according to them, did fairly well in the tests. Now, number 2 spot for the things that I actually really like about the Hyundai Elantra and that you should definitely take a look at this vehicle for is this center stack display. Now, I really like how responsive this touchscreen is, and it works very well. So right here you do have your touchscreen here, and it does have a slight matte finish to it, so it is going to be not glaring from light when light does go on, and it's not going to be overly glaring. Now, looking right here, you do have all of your radio right here. So if you press here, it will take you to your radio area, and it loads a little bit through pages, but it's not terribly bad, especially compared to some of its other competitors. I like how they don't overdo it with the animations where it takes too long, but it could definitely be a lot more responsive. Like, my favorite one that works extremely quick is going to have to go to the Chrysler Uconnect. That one works super fast and is very responsive. This one is also very responsive. This touchscreen actually supports swiping, so if I do scroll up, you are going to see that you can scroll up, which is a pretty neat feature. And look at how many presets you can set. You can set up to 40 presets on this vehicle, which is a pretty neat feature. Now, coming over here, you are going to have all of your other information. You are going to be able to turn on and off HD radio. So this car does have HD radio, which is a pretty neat feature as well. So if you press home right here, it'll take you back to this page. Now, right down here, you have all menus. And if you press on all menus, you do have your radio, your music, images, your auxiliary port. So if you do plug in something into the auxiliary port, you can access that right there. You also have Pandora, your phone connectivity, as well as Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And then if you do swipe, which is so amazing, you can actually swipe. I really love that. It's like a smartphone or a tablet right here. Now, you also have your quick guide, so it'll pretty much tell you when it's time for checkups and all that stuff. You also have your Sirius XM data. You also have SoundHound, which is like a music source. And you also have your voice commands as well as your setup button right here. And overall, this touchscreen is very responsive, and I really like this touchscreen. And also, I want to tell you that this vehicle, like I said, supports Android Auto. So all you do is plug in your phone. This is my phone right here. And I plug that in, and it's going to load up here. All you do is press Android Auto, and then it'll open up Android Auto, which is an amazing feature. And I really like that this vehicle does offer Android Auto. As long as you option for the SE package, SE trim with the popular package, you will get this Android Auto. Now, if you do option for any other trims, you are also going to get this Android Auto if you do option for higher end trims. And if you do go all the way up to the limited trim, you will get a larger 8-inch touchscreen, because this touchscreen right here is 7 inches, and I feel like it fits the dashboard fairly well, but I do feel like an 8-inch touchscreen will just perfectly fit right here. But overall, this touchscreen is very responsive, has very vibrant and crisp display, and also you do have a reverse camera as well. So if you do put this vehicle into reverse, you will have a reverse camera right here, and it does have trajectory, which is a pretty neat feature. So if you are reversing, it will pretty much tell you exactly where you are going. And you also have your guidance line to tell you exactly how close you are getting to certain vehicles as well. So overall, this vehicle is a pretty neat, feature-rich vehicle, especially considering that the vehicle that I do have here is under $20,000. Now, the number one spot of my favorite things of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra is going to have to go to the exterior styling of the vehicle. I mean, I just really like how Hyundai really made this vehicle look a lot more bold and have a lot more of an attractive looking front end. From right here and looking at the front here, you are going to see that this line is very symmetric to that line, making the front end of the vehicle look a lot more low down and planted. Also right here, you are going to see that these headlights do slope down a little bit. You also have this very attractive looking grille up front, which is pretty much going to be seen all across the Hyundai lineup. And you also get that black L plastic insert, which looks very good as well. Now coming over here, you're also going to have your gunmetal accented 10-spoke rims which look amazing, and you can get those on the SE trim with the popular package. As long as you get that popular package, you are going to have these very nice looking rims right here, which really complement this blue accent car right here that we do have here. Now coming down the side right here, you are also going to have this very strong character line that does run all the way down the side and meets up with your taillights and sort of just merges right onto your taillights. Now looking at your taillights, you do have a 3-module design here. You do have your normal brake lights right here, and then 2 more dim lights right there, and then coming below there you do have your incandescent turn signal indicator and your reverse light. And overall, the rear end of this vehicle is very attractive. Also, another thing I did want to show you is right here with this spoiler design. So it's not an actual spoiler, but it's built into the trunk lid to make it look like it actually has a spoiler when it actually does not. And overall, like I said, the exterior styling of the 2017 Hyundai Elantra is very attractive looking, especially for the class. And I feel like it's amongst one of the most mature, aggressive, and overall, this design I feel like is going to age very well over time. Well, that's it for this right off the bat. Comment and tell me what you would like to see in future videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is Marcus, and thanks for watching Drive and Be Driven. Keep it positive, and I'll see you next time. You can become a Drive and Be Driven driver today. Just simply click the subscribe button and you will become a part of the Drive and Be Driven circle. Subscribing will allow you to stay up to date with the Drive and Be Driven YouTube channel. Thank you to all of my current Drive and Be Driven drivers for driving me towards my goals and dreams. Stay subscribed for more awesome videos like this one.